Hello and welcome to ProITians. Now, in this session, we are going to talk about container services, right? What are the options and how we can utilize container services with Azure, right? In the previous session, we actually had a brief discussion about the various compute options that Azure provides, right? Now, in this one, we are going to talk about containers and how we can utilize them in Azure, right? I'll see you in the session then. Thank you. Welcome back to ProITians. So let's continue with our discussion about Azure containers, right? All right. So Azure Container Service. So in short, it is also referred as ACS, and Azure Container Service is a cloud-based container deployment and management service that supports popular open source tools and technologies for container and container orchestration. Azure Container Service is used to manage Docker containers at scale in enterprise and production scenarios. Azure Container Service allows you to run containers at scale in production and manage the underlying infrastructure for you by configuring the appropriate VMs and clusters for you. Azure Container Service is orchestrator agnostic and allows you to use the container orchestration solution that best suits your needs. Right? Now let's do a small comparison between Azure Container and virtual machine. Right? So Azure Container is an isolated, lightweight silo for running an application on the host operating system. Containers are built on top of the host operating system's kernel and contain only apps and some lightweight operating system APIs and services that run in user mode. Right? Whereas virtual machine in contrast to containers, VMs run a complete operating system including its own kernel. Right? Let's have a graphical overview of that. So in containers you have the server, and on the top of that you have the operating system and then a container software, right? For example, Docker or Azure Container Service, and then on top of that you will have the binaries and libraries that is required to run an application. So a container will be sitting on top of a container software, and then on top of operating system, and then on the server hardware. Whereas the virtual machine has a server operating system, it has the hypervisor layer, and then on top of it, it has another operating system, that is the guest operating system, and then on top of it are the applications. Alright, great. So here is a small comparison between Azure Container and the virtual machines. So this is based on the with regards to isolation. As you can see, it provides complete isolation, whereas containers can provide provided we use the hypervisor isolation mode. The operating system, virtual machine runs a complete operating system, whereas for containers it runs only a tailored down or the lightweight virtual machine operating system that can be used only for running a specific applications. Guest compatibility runs about any operating system inside the virtual machine. Right here, it runs on the specific operating system which is part of your base image of the host. Right? Deployment, you can use it to deploy individual VMs by using Windows Admin Center or Hyper-V Manager, or using PowerShell or System Center Virtual Machine Manager. Whereas containers, you can use it by Docker, by command line, using and then you can actually manage through the orchestrator using Azure Kubernetes Service. right? Now let's talk about Azure Container Instances. So Azure Container Instances offers the fastest and simplest way to run a container in Azure without having to manage any virtual machines and without having to adopt a higher level service. Azure Container Instances is a great solution for any scenario that can operate in isolated containers, including simple applications, task automations, and build jobs. Azure Container Instances in Azure's PaaS offerings that allows uploading your containers to Azure and running them independently. So as you know, PaaS is your platform as a service, and so containers, Azure Containers Instances are part of your part of the Azure's PaaS offering service. Right now, as we know, in Kubernetes, we use Kubernetes for the orchestration of the containers. So let's actually take a moment and have a small discussion about Azure Kubernetes Service. So Azure Kubernetes Service, in short it is called as AKS, makes it simple to deploy a managed Kubernetes cluster in Azure. It reduces the complexity and operational overhead of managing Kubernetes by offloading much of the responsibility to Azure. As a hosted Kubernetes service, Azure handles critical tasks like health monitoring and maintenance of containers. Kubernetes masters are managed by Azure. You only need to manage and maintain the agent nodes, right? So Kubernetes masters is like the console that you would use to manage the underlying containers. As a managed Kubernetes service, AKS is free. You only need to pay for the agent nodes within your clusters, not for the masters, right? Alright guys, here are the link for the further training and the video that you can learn more about Azure. And that's all for today guys. Please do subscribe to the channel and hit on the bell icon to get real-time updates as soon as the videos are getting uploaded. And also please do click on the like icon if you're liking the videos, and if for any further queries you can post your queries on the comment section. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.